Hello YouTube. Got something special for you today. Been wanting to do this for a very long time. This is my 2016 Chevy Silverado 1500 chassis, and I put a dump bed kit on it. Let's check it out. Here it is. It's my 2016 Silverado 1500. Been wanting to do this for a very long time, and I'm a contractor. I do concrete work, so it just wasn't feasible to purchase one of the big 1-ton trucks to do small jobs. So this kit is perfect for those small jobs, because otherwise I'd have to shy away from because of cost to bring one of the big dump trucks along. So I apologize. I wanted to do this in November when I actually installed the kit, but it was just getting too damn cold here in Chicago, so I installed the kit, and now let's look over it. And I'll show you some of the concerns I had, and what went smooth, which wasn't much. This is a Pierce Arrow kit, and here we go. I'm gonna get it up so we can look under it. There is no safety mechanism, so if something happens to the hydraulics, she falls. That's all she wrote. But this is the kit in a nutshell. And that is essentially what it is, a kit. It's specific to GM, Ford, and Dodge products, or Ram products, whatever you want to call them. This kit is offset about 1 1/4 inches from center line, because there's a whole bunch of junk in the way. So that fuel tank it takes up a good amount of space, and I do have issues here with the muffler. The scissor does rub up against the muffler when it's down. This is a auto up, auto down, or I should say hydraulic up, hydraulic down. It is not a gravity feed down version. So let me turn off the truck here. I'm just letting it warm up and charge the battery, because it's been sitting for a couple months, so you can hear better. So essentially you start with the scissor. They claim it's a bolt-on kit, but the only thing that's bolt-on is literally the scissor bolting onto the bed. They give you two supports. Hold on, let me turn off that. Be quiet. There you go. So the only thing that's really bolt-on is the upper scissor and the lower scissor. So you drill a hole through. This is the bracket. You got to assemble the bracket. You drill a hole through the bed structure, and then they give you these two pieces here. You have to drill through them as well, and then you bolt it together with 4 big bolts, and that's how it holds to the bed. I had to cut this one because it was supposed to go all the way across, but it does hit the shock support, so I cut that off to where it wouldn't hit the shock support. The kit, it's not really fully done. It's about 90%. I'm going to take some angle iron and run some angle iron all the way across, and kind of box up the support, so on a heavy load the bed doesn't tweak on me, because I will be putting about a yard of concrete in this thing, a yard of gravel, a yard of dirt, and then about 1.5 yards of what's it called, mulch. Sorry, lost track. So it'll take more mulch. Mulch is pretty light, but it's an 8-foot bed, so it only can fit so much before you start piling it too high. But essentially it's going to have a yard of concrete mostly in it to do the small little sidewalk jobs that I usually get. You have the bottom section here. It's held on. GM uses these 3-inch beams. Like I said, Ford and Ram are going to be different. And it's just U-bolts, bolts right up to the subframe support or the frame support, and that's it. And it also, they want you to put a screw. It's hard to see there. You put a screw in between the flange there to stop the pivot, or to stop it from pivoting under load. But I'm just gonna run a bead of weld here and here to stop it from pivoting. Haven't had a problem with it yet, but then again, I haven't had 2,000 pounds of concrete in it yet. So the kit comes with pretty much all the parts, but it's not a kit. It's honestly, it's more of a parts list, and you're on your own. The instructions were kind of bad, but the company was very helpful in trying to get your questions answered. But essentially, I had to do it by myself on my own and figure stuff out on my own. And this right here, the scissor does sit here, and when it's all the way down, it does hang. So they give you a cable, piece of cable to hold the scissor up so it does not hit the drive shaft. But I just, I had no, where are you going to put a cable here? So there's really no place to put a cable, because you got the tank in the way and the exhaust in the way. So I took the piece that I cut off here, and I welded it to the part of the frame, so when the scissor comes down, it sits right on top of this piece, and no chance of dropping on that drive shaft. This is a two-wheel drive version, just so you know. I'm not sure how much more room you have on the four-wheel drive, but it's tight. In this position here was all the emissions. So the emission system was here, over in the corner. So I had to cut it off. I had to cut it off here, and then I had to re-weld it here out of the way, because you got to make room for the scissor. And then they require you to cut one of the lines here and then PVC glue it. That was the only bad thing I didn't like. I was hoping for a better solution than cutting and gluing, but it is what it is. That's what they wanted you to do. Otherwise, it was, once you figure out what you have, they send you a pallet full of parts. And the worst directions on earth. So let's spin over to the other side. These are essentially just all the lines you run from the tank to the canister, because it was sitting right here, and now the scissor sits there, and then the plate sits there to hold the scissor bracket. Pump was pretty easy. You mount the bracket on the frame, drill some holes, put some screws through it, done. And then the pump assembly just sits on the bracket, tucked away nicely. You don't even know it's there when the bed's down. You do have to move the bed back 1 inch in order for this kit to work. So it's all in the instructions and the brackets here. So I don't know if you could see that, but that is the bracket they give you. You got them on both sides. And that's how it pivots. So your bumper is doing nothing except for sitting, or actually I welded mine, so it's welded onto the bracket. I used a stick welder, so you can use a stick welder, you can use a MIG welder, because you're not going to be able to get in here with a TIG. So I'm not the best welder, but she holds me. I'm 250 pounds, and I could stand on the bumper with no problem. that's essentially the kit. It's not much in the kit. When you open the box, you see it mostly hardware, and then the scissor takes up quite a bit of the space. I ran the power in the ground across the frame rail, and then it comes up. The controller comes up through a hole in the corner, a body drain, and then I have it here. The power and ground goes underneath the chassis, follows the frame rail, and then it comes up through the passenger side of the engine right to the battery, and then it comes with a let's see, can you see it here? Nope, you can't see it. The sun comes with that breaker you see there. So this is how I turn it on and off, because there is no power switch or anything. So when it's not in use, I just flip that breaker, and the power is dead to it. So someone can't go under the bed and, you know, jump wires and lift the bed on me without hitting that breaker. All right, let's go to the driver's side. So the driver's side, kind of a pain in the butt here, how they want you to do the fuel inlet. So you have two options. The first option was not an option for me, because my truck is mostly loaded with something. There's always something in my bed. So you could take the original fuel fill and then just cut it shorter, and then it'll sit inside the bed here. But you'd have to lift the bed to fill your fuel. That wasn't an option for me. So in the kit comes all this stuff here to run it to the back. Right, it pretty much sits right here on the bed. It makes a home right here. I had to notch it out to get the fill level higher, because if you put it too low, then obviously fuel's not going to fill, so it has to slope downward. So I had to notch the bed out a little bit to get it to do that. And all I did was I just welded the bracket on, and pretty much used the clamp that came in the kit to hold it on the bracket. I did not spray it, so you see it rusting. Like I said, springtime, I'll start undercoating everything so it doesn't rust. And then the bed does, the kit does come with these brackets here on each side. That's to keep the bed from swinging side to side when it's down, so you don't so it's not making a whole bunch of noise and rattling noise and moving all over, because there is quite a bit of a slop in this when it doesn't have a load on it. But that's the kit in essence. I mean, you could do one little last view of what I did. I sourced the hoses from Advanced Auto Parts, 1/2 inch, 3/8, and some clamps. You do have to take off your hitch to put the kit on. The problem with the hitch is the bed sits 1 inch farther back, so you have to get an extension. That's what they say. But I'm gonna put my hitch back on, and then I'm gonna cut a notch in the bumper so the hitch can actually slip through the bumper, so I don't have to worry about getting an extension, because I don't know, just welding an extension on a hitch just scares me, especially with my welds. But essentially, this is the kit. If you have any questions, let me know. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.